What's going on, Internet? Iron Jordan here. So, today I am bringing you guys a special little video, something a little bit different. This is a deck optimization series. What are we going to do in this series exactly? Well, what we're going to be doing is that I'm going to take you into a journey looking at cards that are very similar and telling you which ones you should run over other ones, why, and in what situation they should be picked. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with Further Under Destruction Champa and Hidden Power E Supreme Kai. These cards are essentially the same. They are used for the same reason in almost every single deck, which is to give one of your attacking cards double strike and kind of have a little gotcha moment against your opponent. It simply allows you to take your opponent from 2 to 0 in a quick combo step surprise attack. Now, I say surprise, but most people that have been playing the game long enough know that if you go to 2 and your opponent's holding a Champa or a Kai, you are probably just dead. As we know, power advantage goes to the attacker, so you have to combo out pretty heavily or have some kind of combat trick to blow up a battle card, but it doesn't work against unisons and leaders currently. So if your opponent goes all in on the battle card attack, on a unison or a leader card attack, and you have no answer for it, they have a double strike Champa, you're probably just dead. So, talking about the actual difference between these cards, well, what's the actual difference? Well, when we read Further Destruction Champa, it comes down to the auto. When you combo with this card, choose one of your attacking cards. It gains double strike. This card inflicts 2 damage instead of 1 when attacking for the duration of the battle. Now, when we read Hidden Power E Supreme Kai, the auto is when you combo with this card, choose up to one of your attacking cards. It gains double strike for the duration of the battle. Okay, cool. So the main difference between these two is that Kai is not mandatory, whereas Champa is. The Champa effect is mandatory. You have to give one of your guys double strike, whereas Supreme Kai, you choose whether or not you would like to do that. So, a little bit of a story time. Back right after World Martial Arts Tournament came out, the set, we had someone get rule shards at a big tournament where they comboed with East Supreme Kai. They didn't declare double strike, and the opponent pointed it out to the judge. The judge sided with the opponent, and the guy ended up losing because he was going in all in double strike and didn't have it. Okay, that is kind of scummy, but it is competitive play. So competitive play, I can understand rule sharking. However, if you're rule sharking somebody at your locals, if you're rule sharking at just kitchen table, then you're scum. Sorry, get a life. Give your friend a break. Come on. So basically, if you're playing in any of those settings, then it doesn't really matter which one you play. Play the one you like the best. Play the one you have a shiny of. Play the one that you have a judge promo of. Whatever. Who cares? But when it comes to actual competitive play, there is a difference. If you are playing mono red, or if you are playing a heavily red deck that can cast E Supreme Kai as a creature, I'm sorry guys, I'm a magic player, I use magic terms. If you can play E Supreme Kai as a battle card, then you should probably play E Supreme Kai. Because every once in a while, I've had this happen to me maybe 3 or 4 times throughout my entire career. Well, at least since E Supreme Kai has come out. I've had 3 or 4 times where I just needed one more attack and I had an E Supreme Kai and 2 mana up. I just decided, hey man, here's my 2-drop 15k. I'm attacking you. Wouldn't have been able to do that with a Champa. So that can make a big difference. So that would be my advice to you. If you can cast the E Supreme Kai, it's 1 mana cheaper. The 1000 power on Champa doesn't make that much of a difference because tie goes to the attacker. So a 16k attack is essentially the same thing as a 15k attack unless your opponent can somehow get 1000 extra combo power. So it's essentially the same thing. I would just play E Supreme Kai if you can cast it, and if not, play Champa. That's basically my entire advice for you. The second one I want to go with is the distinction between Crusher Ball and Giant Ball. These are, again, almost essentially the same card. They do the same thing. Crusher Ball says, counterplay, the battle card played is played in rest mode. Giant Ball, counterplay, when the battle card is played, you may choose it and switch it to rest mode, then draw 1 card. So, obviously, Giant Ball is just kind of an upgraded version of Crusher Ball. Neither one of these cards get around Deflect, which is, whatever. But Giant Ball draws a card, which is nice. However, Giant Ball doesn't get around Barrier. So if your opponent has a barrier threat, obviously Crusher Ball is a better choice. Typically, I tend to go with Crusher Ball. I don't think that Giant Ball is so much of a better card that it warrants getting rid of. The draw warrants the downside of having it not hit barrier cards. So I play Crusher Ball. It also depends on the meta, though. So I would say that it is a meta call. If you are going into a meta where you know that there are a lot of barrier cards, then obviously Giant Ball is not the best option. However, if you're going into a format where there aren't a lot of barrier cards, or if you're playing at locals and you know that there aren't a lot of barrier guys, then Crusher Ball is sorry, Giant Ball is obviously better because you get the draw attached to it, which is really really nice. Now, there is the budget constraints, obviously. If you can't afford giant balls, because they're definitely more expensive than Crusher Balls, as Crusher Ball is a common from set 1, then play Crusher Ball. At the end of the day, this is another one of those that's very dependent on nitpicking, but that is the entirety of this video, is nitpicking to find out which card is better in which situations. In an ideal world though, if you're playing Crusher Ball / Giant Ball in a competitive event, you would main deck the one that you think is better for the meta overall, and then put the other one in your sideboard at like 2 or whatever, and then just switch them out. I honestly don't play any more than 2 Crusher Ball in decks anyway, but Mutaido also does the same thing, and Mutaido just hits bigger cards, and Mutaido can hit deflect. So there you go. That's one card I forgot to put on here, but hey, Mutaido, throw him on there too. Mutaido obviously better if the card has deflect. The next one is another pair of yellow cards, which is going to be Vegeta's Final Flash and Release from Evil. These cards kind of again do almost essentially the same thing, but we'll read them because there is a bigger distinction than there is between Champa, Kai, and Giant Ball Crush Ball. So Vegeta's Final Flash says, activate battle if your leader card is yellow. Choose up to one of your leader cards or battle cards. Gets plus 15k power. Excuse me. Gets plus 15k power for the duration of the battle. Auto, if all your energy is yellow, when you activate this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, negate skills for the duration of the turn. Okay, pretty good card. Release from Evil. Counter attack. If your leader card is mono yellow, choose the attacking card, ignoring barrier, negate the skills for the turn, and it can't be switched to active mode for the start of your next turn. Permanent. If you have yellow unison card in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So there are actually pretty big pluses and minuses to these things. They are not just, one is not just strictly better than the other, despite what some people may say. So firstly, for Release from Evil, you have to be playing a mono yellow leader. You don't have to have all mono yellow energy, but you do have to be playing a mono yellow leader. Whereas with Vegeta's Final Flash, you can play a dual colored yellow leader, but all of your energy has to be yellow. Now, it can still be dual colored yellow energy, but all of your energy has to be yellow. The next thing that happens is that this can choose your leader card or battle card and give it plus 15k power for the battle, which can potentially stop the attack. Whereas Release from Evil does not do that. Release from Evil is played in the counter attack window, whereas Vegeta's Final Flash is a activate battle that you'd use during your defensive step. Excuse me. So you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier and negate skills for the duration of a turn. The other thing, though, with Release from Evil is that Release from Evil can hit unison cards. So, in my opinion, what I would say is that in the meta that we're in right now, where unisons are very, very relevant, Release from Evil is the better card to run. However, Vegeta's Final Flash is still a very powerful card. Vegeta's Final Flash can still get around Cell Zeno. Now, this card can as well, but Vegeta's Final Flash can turn off the dual attack quadruple strike on Cell Zeno. So, both these cards are very good. Obviously, if you're playing a dual colored leader, then you have to play Vegeta's Final Flash. If you're playing Release from Evil, if you're playing Unisons, this is just a better card for the most part. So again, right now, I think this is the one that we have like the starkest like hard answer for, which is Release from Evil is better right now because Unisons are really relevant and it can stop like if you're playing against Peel Off, you give something triple attack, double strike with like the Jiren or whatever, you can keep that from killing you, or any of the other unisons that he has access to. If you're playing against Vegets, this card can turn off all the skills on the Gotenks Black Unison. I think it's a Gotenks Unison. So yeah, I think this card for right now is just better. But there is a spot in the meta for Vegeta's Final Flash. But if you can play Release from Evil, play Release from Evil. The next one that we have is all of this line of double strikers and critical guys. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. This one's pretty simple. Obviously, you play the one that you can play in your colors. Green has multiple double strike guys now. Like green actually has two, red has one, yellow has one, blue has one, red has a crit, and green has a crit guy. So obviously, green has the most amount of self awakener crit guy, crit boys, little damage boys, little aggressive, little take my life boys. Uh, so clearly, the difference for these is when you have the choice, which one is better for your archetype. So, for example, if you're playing for, let's say, Red Virus, and you can play between, you say, hey, I want to have a double striker in my deck at one drop. Okay, cool. Well, I have Kaba and I have Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. So, for my deck list, I play a heavy Son Goku GT package, including the one drop Goku that can search for Son Goku GTs. So, clearly, I would want to play this guy because, hey man, he can be searched. So if he's searchable in my archetype, I'm going to play him. When you're looking at putting a double striker into like Golden Frieza or whatever, you'll probably play Dodoria because you can pop it afterwards because it's a Frieza army card. Stuff like that. And that's basically what it comes down to. It's just like, hey man, which one fits your archetype better? They're all great cards, they're all fantastic, but which one fits your deck better? And that's what you have to do when you look at these cards. So obviously we had a little bit less of a linear answer for that last one because it really depends on what colors you're playing and what your archetype is and all that other stuff. For example, intensifying power trunks used to be very relevant in the chain attack Zeno combo back in the day, back in Haruto Garden stuff. Ugh, what a horrible meta that was. I hated it. Anyway, so yeah, but that's the video. I want to do more stuff like this. So if you guys have card combinations that you guys think are, strictly, you know, kind of the same, that fulfill the same role, like Crush Ball, Giant Ball, like Release from Evil, Vegeta's Final Flash, Champa, and E Supreme Kai, stuff like that. If you have cards that you think fit the same role, but you want me to break down, like which one is better, which one is technically better than the other one, which one should I play in whatever deck, then let me know and I'll do it in the next one. I want to be able to make videos for newer players to help them make the more nitpicky decisions, the ones that are like very kind of on the margins. And that's what this video series is for. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe, leave a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one.